Enterprise by Nizam Ezekiel is a story about certain people, certain enterprisers who build up and pull up a plan of going for a journey. The poet, who is a part of this pilgrimage, explains how these people were very optimistic and very enthusiastic to go for a pilgrimage. But eventually, they did not know the hardships and the hardships that they had to face during it. By the end or the due course of this poem, they eventually lose interest and they feel that it has been a very difficult thing. They lose interest and they forget their basic focus of doing this and pulling this journey. Let's have a look at the points of the summary. The pilgrimage, the second stage, and the differences among enterprisers. Exhausted enterprisers, sad realization dawns on the enterprisers. Now let's have a look at the descriptive part. Nizam Ezekiel is one of the prolific Indian writers in English of the 20th century. He was playwright, editor, critic and poet. He was awarded the Sahitya Academy Award for his poetry collection. Later day sons, he was also awarded the Padma Shri by the Government of India in 1988. He is often called the father of modern Indian English poetry. Ezekiel's poetry has different themes and styles. His poems are a depiction of craftsmanship, restraint and intellectual approach to everyday life. Now, the first stanza of the poem. The poem Enterprise begins with a group of people which includes the poet himself. As it is clear from the use of we in the sixth line, journeys to a holy place at that time. Their minds were full of ideas to reach their destination. Therefore, they started their journey with a lot of vigor and excitement. Sure enough that they can easily overcome all the difficulties that they face, inconvenience seemed insignificant to them. However, our real strength emerges when we face a crisis, isn't it? Similarly, the travels were full of enthusiasm and reached the second stage of their journey. During this second stage, they confronted the adverse natural difficulties, symbolizing the blazing sun. But nothing could detain them from reaching their destination or take away their enthusiasm. Their passion to reach their destination was as hot as the blazing sun above their heads. The heat of the sun is symbolic of Mother Nature being hostile towards human ambitions. The more the human beings aspire, the more the nature tries to put up a hindrance to beat them down. The group of the travelers continues their journey, experiencing the difficulties put in their way. Carried away by the unrestrained excitement, the pilgrims kept a record of the events that they witnessed, goods being bought and sold by the peasants, and the way of serpents and goats. The travelers passed through 3 cities where a sage has taught, but they were unconcerned about what taught or what his message was. The third stanza talks about the differences that cropped among the members which made a whole in their unity. As they continued their journey, as they reached a desert, differences arose among on the question of how to cross the challenging landscape. One of the members, an excellent prose writer, left the enterprise. He was considered the most intelligent among the lot. Therefore, a shadow of discord fell onto their enterprise and continued to grow as one of the members parted the group. Then, the poet describes the hindrances that follow the enterprise. In this next stage of their journey, the travelers are attacked twice, and while saving themselves, they lose their ways and forget the noble ambition which had motivated them to come so far. The enterprise slowly breaks into 2. Some of the members, claiming their freedom, quit the journey and went their own ways. The poet feels helpless and upset at the breaking of the enterprise. Looking at the disorganized lot of pilgrims, the only thing he could do was to pray. And why do you think we pray? The answer is that the act of praying implies seeking the help of a divine personality when human efforts go in vain. There is a still an assurance from the leader of the group. He assures them that the sea or the destination was at hand. It seems that Their members have lost their enthusiasm and hope as they see nothing noticeable as they move forward. The pilgrims have now turned into a crowd of aimless wanderers instead of being bounded by a well-focused goal like before. They were not bothered about the roar of the thunder. Some of them were too exhausted to stand erect. That is all for the day. All the very best for your exams.